Perfect. So before we begin, we're just going to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and their continuing connection to our community. We pay respect to them, their culture, and to their elders past and present. As many of us are watching in locations around Australia and New Zealand, I would also like to pay our respects to the traditional owners of the country in which we all live and work. I would also like to recognise their continuing connection to land, waters, and community, and pay our respects to them and their culture and to elders both past, present, and future. Alrighty, so the agenda for today is this. Michelle's going to kick us off after this with a bit of an introduction to what the MSA is and what the program is meant to do. We'll then talk about Protege, which is another Microsoft, event that you can join. We'll also have a panel with a few speakers after this, and then we can talk about the MSA and how we're going to help you get certified with Microsoft certifications. And then we'll talk about, the year and what we have planned. So I'll pass it on to Michelle. Oh, wait, I'll introduce us first. So I'm Jason. I'm an Azure Specialist Intern. So I've only been enrolled for about 4 months. And we also have Deepthi. She's running the sessions with me, and she can give an introduction of herself.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Deepthi. Like Jason, I'm an intern that started in December last year. So my role is Cloud Solution Architect intern, and both of us are still studying at uni as well. So I'm studying a Bachelor of Commerce and IT at Monash. Jason, just let everyone know what you're studying as well.
Yeah, so I'm studying a double degree in engineering and commerce, also at Monash. So Deepthi and I will be running the non-technical workshops. These are the workshops that run every month. So you'll be seeing a lot of us, and we're keen to meet you all. Awesome. So the next one. Michelle, do you want to speak a little bit about MSA?
I do want to speak a little bit about MSA. So welcome, everyone. I'm really happy you're here. I would like to say that, yes, please do tell your friends, because we have about 300 of you who registered currently, and I have bought enough, well, Jasmine has bought enough swag for 1,500 of you. So I would really like there to be a lot more people in the program, and everyone is welcome. So even if they are business and commerce and marketing and, non-technical traditionally degrees, there is room for them in this program. And I think you will find among our interns and grad hires, there are plenty of people that have come from business degrees. So we welcome all comers, and we will have some low code, no code options as we go on throughout the year. But even the ones that are, the one that we're starting with, AI fundamentals, everyone can do that. It doesn't matter whether you consider yourself technical or not. So the goal of this program is to build a supportive community for all of the students so that everyone can certify, build, and connect with Microsoft. And you can have access to lots of programs. You can do networking with us. You can do mentoring with us. We're going to hook you into all the student programs that we have to make sure you don't miss anything, and you can pick and choose. So if there's too much on and you can't focus on it because you need to study for your degree, then absolutely don't attend any of the things that month. Take the time to make sure you have the right work-life balance in there. But if there are things that are interesting to you, then register, sign up. Hopefully you'll be able to watch recordings for stuff that you can't watch at the time. So absolutely no pressure, but what we are trying to do is give you a community where we can help you, where you can help each other, where we can all learn and grow on Microsoft platforms together, and it will position you for a better career when you leave university. So we want to set you up for success and give you as much extra stuff as we can to help raise you above all the noise when you're putting your applications in against your peers. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything at all? Anyone else? Oh, yeah, there's the whole journey. So yeah, there are lots of other programs that are not specifically Microsoft Student Accelerator, like Protégé, that are going to talk in a minute. CODES, Student Ambassadors Program. So you see a few of them will run MSA this year. Student Summit, there's like a bunch of other Microsoft opportunities, and we will kind of hook you into them, make sure that you're aware of them, you don't miss anything. And, you know, by registering with us, it should mean that you get access to everything and you don't miss anything. But yeah, as I say, no pressure to do everything, just do the things that make sense to you, and hopefully it will set you up for success. Those are the extra student programs we have at the moment, but there will probably be more as the journey goes on. And we have someone that's going to talk to us about Protégé now. Is that right, Jay? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So Derek's going to talk about Protégé now.
Thanks, Jason and Michelle. Hey everyone, lovely to meet you. My name is Derek. I am a commercial executive based in Sydney. I'm in Aspire, so I was a part of the graduate program, and I'm one of the leads in organising Protégé this year. And come to today, welcome to MSA, but also to, I guess, introduce you to Protégé. So you might be asking, I guess, what is Protégé and why did I join Protégé? Protégé is an annual case competition offering technical and non-technical students an opportunity to tackle those real-world business problems and creating innovative solutions based on whether your tertiary studies, creating new skills, or even just your passion. Additionally, it's an opportunity for Microsoft to identify young talent, which can kind of previously seen kind of entrants move into those interns and graduate positions. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Any entries open to all undergrads and TAFE students and open to all disciplines. So we encourage you all. Go next slide, please. This is an overall high-level summary of our current timeline. So as you can see in the slides, there's round 1, which is in 2nd of May, where teams submit like a 20-page slide deck of the digital strategy based on a case study which our team writes. In round 2, the top 16 will be provided to present the ideas to a panel, which they develop in round 1. And finally, in round 3, the top 4 teams from semi-finals will be invited to partake in a case crack competition to further develop the strategy and also present to a panel of judges. The case will be given actually on the day. And if you're concerned about if you have no experience about workshops, not sure how to start with Microsoft products, don't actually worry. Between the 2nd of May and 11th of May, we actually have 3 workshops running. For example, the first one is how to break a case down. Second one is Microsoft's products and their technical parts, so how to utilize the technology. And third one's about case hygiene, how do you present them? This helps to support students, which I highly recommend you to attend. The next slide, please. So on your left, you have a link to the website, which you can scan with the QR code or visit. This is the 2021, just a heads up, so it hasn't been updated yet, but it does have a lot of information about Protégé. If you have any queries and would like to connect and contact me, feel free to message me at Protégé or anything about broader Microsoft for a chat. That's my email there. And additionally, if there's something that's interested for this opportunity, there's an expression form right here, which you can fill out and allows us to engage with you and send important updates such as workshop dates, the links, key opening and closing dates. So thank you for that. I'll pass it back to Deepthi.
Just jump in as well and add on that in Student Accelerator, we strongly recommend that you do have a go at Protégé. We think it's a really good way to sort of get in the mindset, learn some design thinking, think about, you know, maybe building AI for good ideas or sustainability ideas, even though you can't build them yet, or you might not be in a position to build them yet. It will have you thinking about those things, forming the teams, learning how to sort of, you know, brainstorm and all of that, learning how to pitch. It's a really excellent program. And then as MSA goes on, if you're, if you're really pleased with your idea and you think you can do something with it, you can learn to build those ideas that you have, pitched for Protégé, and you can get mentors and networking to sort of help you progress that idea as you continue on your journey. So definitely join up for Protégé. Think it'll be great. Don't put pressure on yourselves. It's not about winning. It's about thinking of those ideas, thinking about what you want to build, thinking about what you want to learn, forming those teams, and taking those things forward, and maybe you'll win. Cool.
Thanks for that, Michelle. Definitely second that as well. So now we've got our panel. So we've got a range of people here today to chat to you a little bit about their experiences here. So first we've got Kaylin, who is a technical specialist intern. We've got Samantha, who's a cross solutions technical specialist, and she's an Aspire. And then we've got Victor to represent the MSA and an MSA representative. There we go. So first, we've got a question for all of you. We'll go in the order from left to right here. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your role. We'll get you to start, Kaylin.
So, hi everyone. Thanks for being here. So I'm Kaylin, and I'm a final year student at University of Sydney, and I'm studying computer science and data science. And so in my spare time, I like doing a bit of side projects as well as training, so weightlifting, boxing, and of course Netflix. So anyway, so my internship, I'm a technical specialist in the cloud endpoint team in the cybersecurity unit in the STU. So it's quite like very high down, but essentially it's just all modern management. So we're selling a lot of stuff like W365, Microsoft Managed Desktop, so the endpoints, so they're all managing the computers. So in terms of my role and what I do, so, every internship is very different, but in terms of my one, I'll shadow meetings, learn Microsoft products, improve my selling, as well like little tasks such as forecast for managers and organizing office hours, making PowerPoints pretty. It kind of just ranges. But yeah, so that's myself and my role.
Awesome. So I was going to go next. I'm just moving down the line. Hi everyone, my name is Samantha, or Sam Short. I studied at UNSW doing a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance and Information Systems, and graduated in December 2021. So I spent all of last year as an intern, like Kaylin is now. I was interning in our public sector team in Microsoft under our education business. I did some work around tech strategy, so how do we digitally transform the teaching and learning experience of students and staff. And since then, I've stepped into my new role as a cross solutions technical specialist, Aspire, a mouthful. But essentially, our Aspire program is actually a graduate program. So just think of the two as synonymous. And what I do is I look at synergies between our different products. So as opposed to focusing solely on Azure or focusing solely on our business application suite, I look at how they interact and how we can create more holistic, repeatable solutions for customers based on their industry challenges. And in my spare time, I like to bake, I like to go on walks with friends and try out new restaurants.
Cool. Thank you for that, Samantha. We'll get Victor to introduce himself now.
Hi everyone, I'm Victor. Nice to see the very vibrant student community. I'm a student myself, and I'm studying chemical engineering, and I'm currently doing my PhD. So that's my main occupation. My PhD is on energy. So we're in the renewable fuel space. So we're trying to come up with a liquid biofuel alternative to petrol and diesel for the transport industry. So that takes a very, very, very significant part of my time. But other than that, I really enjoy being part of a student community when I was doing my bachelor's and even now. And so that's one of the benefits I found in being part of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program, is you get to be really in touch with the community. So and you get to learn along the way too of Microsoft technologies and how they can be implemented in not just in a tech focused area, but it applies in many ways, such as in my own research, I find a lot of benefit through those technologies. So that's what I do, and also as a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. In my spare, well, other things I like doing, I really like sport. I play a lot of soccer very frequently, and I really like arts, literature, so maybe reading, writing, and watching plays. So that is me.
Cool. Thank you for that, everyone. So the next question is, what was your journey to get to the role like? And do you have any tips and tricks for anyone?
So my career in tech really started on my degree. Before I did my computer science degree, I never even programmed. I just thought that data and AI was cool. And so I was like, I'll just enroll into Sydney Uni and see if I like it. If not, I'll transfer, but I ended up loving it. Anyway, so I studied computer science, and then I've done a fair bit of roles. Like if you see my LinkedIn, I've got experience from all over. So I started teaching Python, and then I did a bit of door-to-door sales for HelloFresh, and then I was an IT and STEM assistant, and then I did a bit of societies. I worked at Quantium. So just like a lot of different jobs in a lot of different societies. And I honestly think that that's my biggest tips and tricks with Microsoft, was my range of experience, because like you can always learn information and that kind of stuff. But I found that with all the different experience I had, and how, like if I didn't do sales, I wouldn't have been so confident, all that kind of stuff. So my advice, very much get all the experience, because I think that's truly what got me to where I am now at Microsoft. Take it away, Sam.
Yeah, cool. So I think I'll focus on the intern to grad experience, since Kaylin's covered uni going into the internship. So for me, because my intern and now my grad Aspire role are quite different, I would say that the first question I asked myself was, do I want to be more of a generalist, or do I want to be more of a specialist? And although my role title is a specialist, it is generalist in the sense that I get to work across our whole ecosystem of products. And so I think my tips and advice would be to just kind of keep an open mind at the start of an internship. Try a bit of everything. I was fortunate enough to be in our education team where we had, people who worked across all different product areas for the education industry. And so I tried to keep an open mind, dip my toes in a bit of everything and figure out what I enjoyed the most. And it just ended up being everything. I love our whole tech stack, and so that's why I went down the path of being a cost solutions specialist. But yeah, I think if you do find that there's a particular area of technology that interests you quite deeply, to look for opportunities beyond your role to get more immersed. So perhaps in the context of Microsoft, say if I were to be super interested in Azure, I would have, gone out of my way maybe to shadow someone who focuses solely on Azure to build that experience. And so luckily, because I was a technology strategist as an intern, I was already working across our full suite. And so I kept going with that and made sure that my experience was very holistic to make sure that I was getting the best out of our full ecosystem that I could carry forward to transitioning into my next role. And I'll pass it over to Victor.
Thanks for that. I think I'll focus maybe on my role as a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I'm currently in the beta stage. So I think I started off just being a user of Microsoft products. And I think it's something we all have access to, for example, Office 365. And it's just seeing from that point of saying how can these very common, very ubiquitous tools be useful in my own workflow, in the things that I do. And so just learning how to be proficient with that, and along the way also being involved in other in taking opportunities to be part of clubs as a student. I had the chance to be a co-founder of one of the engineering technology clubs at Curtin, and through that I learned that there was a lot of opportunity to take initiative. Like a lot of things are there, but there's a lot of room for initiative, and that's when I began to see there's an opportunity to learn even further. And so through that, we had a chance to invite Microsoft over to Curtin and it was really inspiring to see how they could share the future upcoming technologies of the future with our first year students. And everyone was just so amazed by what they can learn at this point and how that will be very useful for the future that is to come. And so through that, I felt I just wanted to be involved in being part of such a community. And I must say, coming from from not the traditional fields that are involved with maybe typical Microsoft products, there was that challenge feeling that maybe it may not necessarily be for me. But I found that just keeping on learning and finding and understanding, you begin to realize they actually apply in so many ways. And so now it's a point where everything, even learning about various AI technologies from Azure, I can find some application in my own research just because of that ability to make connections to what I learned and also bringing into the things I'm studying. So, and I ended up, of course, with that, I became aware of the opportunity to be a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. And at that time, it wasn't very popular, as popular in Australia as it is in other parts of the world. So I came to hear about it from another continent, actually. So, and then I thought, I might as well give this a go. And fortunately, I was accepted. And since then, it's just been a very, very wonderful journey of learning and of being even more integrated in the student community. And along the way, I learned for myself as well. And it's just a very positive cycle of learning and also giving back. And so that's been my journey to where I am currently.
Okay, sorry, my computer was frozen for a second. Can everyone hear me? Yes, okay, so the unmute button finally worked. Nice. Okay, so thank you for your answers. I'm sure it was very helpful for all the students here today. For the final question, we've got describe your interview/joining process. And I'm sure everyone has had a different experience. What's one thing that you learned from it, and what advice would you give to everyone here today?
So I kind of gave the advice before, but I'll say it again because I truly think it is so invaluable. But get as much experience as you can in a variety of fields. And in terms of the actual interview, take it chill and have fun with interview processes, because I know when I applied for jobs at times, I was so desperate and recruiters would be like, we don't want that. So I'm trying to kind of just almost go the approach going, like, you kind of tell them why you deserve to be there, not please hire me, kind of going, I know I'm amazing. Like, you should be so lucky as to have me on your payroll. So have it chill, have fun. Confidence is everything, and experience. Sam, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, I would say, I don't think I touched too much on my background, but I actually started in a non-technical degree. Well, I did study commerce, but I wasn't actually focusing on information systems to begin with. I was actually doing a lot of accounting and finance. And I would say that don't come into it with the mindset that you need to be super technical. Microsoft has this phrase of being a learn-it-all and not a know-it-all. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. I'd also say to, just embrace the fact that here we're all about being collaborative and being all about, being a good problem solver, thinking really innovatively. And that's something that your degree can't teach you necessarily. And so to try to think about those really unique experiences that will set you apart because you've gained a few of these soft skills, and talk about how those experiences have shaped you and what's been defining about them, as opposed to focusing on the fact that, you can code in, Python or SQL, because at the end of the day, anything that you need to know about our tech is teachable on the job, and I can attest to that being someone from a non-technical background.
I definitely echo Caitlin and Samantha. I think with Caitlin, sorry. I also think it's really I find there's a sense of in a sense, you can say it having fun, but it's just, I really enjoyed applying for my MLSA application because I already had been doing a lot of the things they were requiring. So I felt rather than just attaining what they're asking, I also talk about what my own aspirations, my own visions. And I found that such a way of applying just really helped me. And it's less stressful and very enjoyable. And so far it's had very good outcomes in my MLSA application, in even my PhD application, just the sense of with the experiences I've acquired in the past, I can be able to apply in a way that to show I understand this role and I can offer you what you want as a minimum, but even more. So I think that I appreciate that, and also being a learn-it-all, as Sam said. I think that's something I really appreciate, because sometimes I think it's a sense of being fixed. For example, I come from a chemical engineering aspect, and so it's very easy to say I'm very, very proficient in my area, and because I'm not, and there's that sort of because you're not aware of because you're not as proficient in other areas, you don't want to delve too much in that because it's not your specialty. But I've really been encouraged by that sense of just being a learner at all times, and it has really put me in good stead. There was a question. Michelle, is that question for me or?
For all of you, I feel like you didn't really dish any insider knowledge on the interview process, or how they, how many interviews were there? Were the people nice to you? Was it scary? Did you have to prep a presentation or anything for your interviews, or was it just conversation? Were they people that you knew? Were they complete strangers? Were they, dish some dirt. Tell us the insider tips.
Well, the internship application is definitely a lot easier than a full-time role. In terms of, for us, there was only 3 interviews. No, 2. 3. Oh, so it was like 2, and then and then there's 2 on the same day. So in total 3. So yes, you've got group interviews, and then you've got interviews with a panel. And I think they are so kind. They want to know about you and your personality, because everyone at Microsoft is so lovely. It's insane. So they want to make sure that you fit the work culture. I definitely was a very non-stressful environment, because I know other times I've interviewed and they just make you really tense. What about yourself, Sam? How did you find the process?
Yeah, so I had a similar experience going into the intern program 2 years ago now when I did the interviews. I found that it was very case study heavy when I did it. And I think that's because they really wanted us to showcase the fact that we could problem solve and think of ideas on the spot and be able to showcase and present back in a really concise manner. And our interviews are actually framed as coffee chats as opposed to interviews, because they were extremely conversational. I found that there wasn't much, technical prerequisite, if anything. It depends at the end of the day what role you're going for. But keep in mind that when you do apply for the internship, you're not actually applying for a single individual type of role. You're actually applying for the program as a whole. And so the interviewers aren't really looking for you to fit a certain mold. They're looking for people to join Microsoft as a company. And if they believe that you align with our purpose and our values, that's when they'll go ahead and allocate you to the role that you're best fit for. So, don't think that because you want and you're gunning for a cloud solution architect role that you have to come up from day one and look really technical. At the end of the day, they will make a conscious effort to realign you, redirect you to the role that suits your skills and passions. In terms of moving into the Aspire program, how it worked is we got a list of different roles to pick from that would come up as grad roles. We'd essentially pick and nominate around 3 preferences from that list and go through an interview loop. And based on the feedback that the interviewers gave and your preferences, they'd kind of do like a speed dating session to map candidates to positions. For instance, if your first preference, if you did really well and your manager wanted you as your first preference, as their first preference as well, there was that immediate one-to-one mapping. And so, yeah, we pretty much just did 2 interviews per role, so around 6 in total. And I think for my cohort, everyone ended up in a role that they were really happy with. There weren't too many conflicting preferences, but that was the process transitioning from the internship to the Aspire program.
Have anyone to add, Jason? And do you want to talk about your experiences as well?
I think in the interest of time, maybe we should move on.
Yes.
If you
but
guys
if-
do have
Okay, cool.
questions, though, definitely just one thing I want to say is message myself or any of us on LinkedIn if you have any more questions as well. Doesn't have to just be this time as well, because sometimes you want to like think back and you want more time to reflect, go, oh, I should have asked this. You can just message us on LinkedIn. We're all pretty active there.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely.
Kaylin and Sam and the rest of the panel and anyone else in MSA could put their LinkedIn profiles in the chat so that people can connect to them more easily.
Will do, yeah.
And
Sounds good.
yeah, also just keep just putting your questions in the chat, and we'll try to answer them as we go via chat as well. Cool. So I will pass on to Michelle now. Next slide, please. And she'll talk about the certifications that MSA offers.
Yes, so we have a few people already that have completed the learning path that I send out with the first email. And I sent out another one today to remind you all to not be scared. Oh my goodness, Jackie Chan is here. I have 2,000 vouchers from the Americans, but they all expire. So I really need you to do those first, and yes, think about other stuff later, because I want to use up the vouchers on you all and not have to waste them. What I have is, yes, a focus on AI fundamentals, and the next one is data fundamentals. Definitely, if you are a business or commerce student and you're thinking, but I don't want to do anything so technical, I want to do, Power Platform, which is low code, no code, that will be coming, but it will be much later in the year. So there's no reason not to collect them as you go. All the fundamentals ones, you don't need to go deep into the tech. You just need to follow the learning path, get an understanding of what stuff does and how you might use it. So there's a lot of people, a lot of the interns and grad hires that are in this program, and they will tell you that they're in relationship roles, and they need to understand the technology and how you might use it, how you might solve problems for customers, but they don't need to know how to actually implement it. They don't need to know the nitty-gritty of it. So therefore, it is all of these fundamental ones really set you up for any role at all within Microsoft, or within any of the big tech providers, or any of our partners, or indeed within a lot of our customers as well. So definitely do it. 97% of the people that follow the learning path and then watch the exam prep class that I have put up on the YouTube pass the exam. 100% of the people that don't put in for the exam do not get the exam. That's true. So I do want to say, get the voucher from me and do the exam. The other thing I would say is that the certification dashboard does not record your failures. It only records your successes. So you will, if you fail your exam, no one will know. Microsoft will not know. Anyone outside of anywhere will not know. You are the only one that will know. And if you do, which, as I say, you would be the 3%. And I would presume that it's because you panicked in your exam, not because you do not have the capacity to pass it, but because you panicked. And so therefore you should just message me and say, Michelle, it all went horribly wrong. Please help me, and I will help you, because every single one of you will be able to do this. You just need the help of your community, your supportive Microsoft community around you. And that's what we are all here for this year, to try and help you grow and learn and be able to jumpstart your careers. So do it. I have put up 2 little video things on the internets of Ben, who was the first person to pass the certification in the program, and then David Smith, who is on the call, who has also passed one just recently. And I want to make more of them. Louise, I have messaged you, and Clarissa, so that we can make some more videos, because I think it helps everyone else if they can hear your tips and tricks. They can hear, you know, what you studied hardest on, what you think is important. And if we can share that knowledge with each other, then we will be a stronger community. So yes, anyone that has passed your exams, you can reach out to me and we'll make more videos, and we'll make this community so strong and successful. Cool. That's that, isn't it?
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Let's move to the next slide. So these calls will happen on the first Friday of every month. This is our regular monthly meeting. It's non-technical, but the plan is to go through career advice. We might get panels, we might get managers and other people involved so that you can learn from people who are a little bit more experienced. We'll also be running a couple of sessions on non-technical skills. So these are skills like active listening, how to communicate effectively using mirroring coaching, and how to give and receive effective feedback. These are kind of the rough topics that we'd be talking about. So they're super important, especially in a role like ours at Microsoft, which is all customer facing. Our technical workshops, so the first one will happen on the 19th of April. They're the details there. It'll be an introduction to GitHub. Victor, I'm not sure, did you want to add anything to that? Or...
Well, Clarissa, because
Yep.
she is the teacher for that one, aren't you, Clarissa?
You mean on the first presentation, is it?
The first technical workshop that you will
Yes.
be teaching. Tell them why they should come.
Yes. For those who doesn't actually GitHub, it's the how do I say? So the topic will be building your GitHub profile. It's like the first steps on how you start up with setting up your GitHub and some developer tools. It's really basic, and then how it will help you. Once you have GitHub profile, you can put all stuffs there, especially your coding, like projects, or maybe your resume, or even some other like information that you can use on your CV in the future when you're applying. And moving forward with the MSA program, we will also be giving you some trainings on some simple website program as website design, and you can also put that there as your part of your profile. And in that way, when you apply, you can always refer that as your repository that you have experience in these types of technologies.
Excellent. And then we're going to have more technical workshops as we go on. Oh, you just said that, didn't you? Yes. Not necessarily a simple app. It could be a complex app.
Also, if you have any suggestions for technical workshops, please message in the chat, because we're obviously always looking for inspiration.
Yes. Maybe everyone could, as Clarissa suggests, come on, put your cameras on so we could have a group shot of the first inaugural meeting. Don't you think? In which case you should stop sharing, Jay.
I don't have control of them. I think Nicole does. We do have a couple more slides. Did we want to finish them off first?
Oh yes, finish off, and then, but make sure we don't forget the picture.
Yep.
Oh no, we have stopped sharing. So let's take the picture. Would you, all of you students, come off, put your cameras on, let us see you. Oh, look at that. Some people are so excited to come in just for the picture that they are.
Are we doing the photo first? Yeah, let's do the photo first.
I will try.
Let's try this out.
Oh, view. There we go. Everyone that knows how to take screenshots should take screenshots, because with so many on the call, the cameras freeze up and then you don't get people in a flattering thing all the time. So a few screenshots so that you can check that people are smiling and not closed-eyed. There is still time. Oops. Tell you what, mine is definitely too slow for this. I hope the rest of you are being more successful in getting some screenshots there. Look at that. Oh yeah, obviously, if you don't want to be in a picture, you should not be on camera. But it's good to see you all. It's good to see your little faces, which I am not seeing all of them.
Are you taking the photo, Michelle?
I am attempting to change my view to that together mode. There we go. That's the one that I wanted. And then I would hopefully be able to see everyone. But yes, while I'm doing that, oh look, there they all are. That looks good. Maybe you should carry on chattering for the close, Jason, and say whatever else is we need to say.
I guess one thing we wanted to let you all know was, I guess, the benefits that you have. So you all have access to the Azure portal. When we get the slides back up, there's a QR code that you can scan. It'll take you to the Azure portal. So you get free stuff like credits and vouchers, which will support you through your journey. And you don't need to put a credit card or anything. You'll just need to verify yourself as a student by putting in your student ID and student card. This will give you $100 of Azure credits and access to a variety of Azure services as well for free. This will mean that you can use these on the labs if you do the Microsoft Learning Paths. But I guess one thing that we want to make you all aware of is please turn off your resources and your services if you're not using them. Otherwise, you'll chew through your $100 of credit really quickly. And I actually did that a few weeks ago. And I have my credit card attached to it, so it cost me like $50. So don't do that. Yep. So that's
very quickly then, hey Jay.
Yeah, you'll never do it again though if you do screw up like I have. So we can go to the next slide, Nicole. And of course, so this was the first kickoff session. We hope to get more people involved. So please share this with your friends, people that you know. They can still register and join our program for the rest of the year. So yeah, just the more people we get, the better it is for everyone. Awesome. But that is all for today. Thank you all for coming. And we'll hopefully see a lot more of your faces throughout the year.
Yeah, and I would say as well, you don't have to do the labs for your learning paths for the exams. For the fundamentals one, in order to pass the exam, you really only need to follow the learning path and watch the prep class. That should be enough. But if you do want to make yourself industry ready, then try the labs as well. But yes, as Jay has said, make sure you turn your resources off, delete everything at the end of every learning path. In fact, if you delete stuff at the end of the learning path, it's really good, because you'll think, oh, I worked really hard to build all that stuff and I don't want to delete it all without showing everyone my great work. But in fact, the more times that you build it, so if you built it again to show your friend or something, then it makes it clearer in your mind what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it works, why you're choosing what you choose. So yeah, do it a lot, but delete everything afterwards. Leave no resources running, or at least leave no VMs running. Those are the expensive things.
I was just wondering, maybe they also wanted to have a workshop on browsing around the Azure portal, just in case.
That would be a good one, Clarissa. Definitely add that to the list. Yeah, we want to have a lot of workshops this year, you guys, technical ones and non-technical ones, to give you a lot of choice. so that you can choose which ones are relevant to you. If you already know stuff, you know, obviously you can avoid those workshops, but the more the merrier. And of course, when you come to them, you can make more friends. It won't always be me chatting as much as this. I talk too much. Cool. All right.
All right, that's the end of the session. Thank you for joining.
I'm going to post some picture on the internet. So look, connect to me on LinkedIn and look for those pictures.